So, when I was 18, Rick asked me and Pooch Clater to be the second generation of interns, and I was going to be the very first female intern that Quiet Christian Fellowship had had. And we were both really nervous about accepting it, but we had this big talk one night after college Bible study, and we're like, we're gonna go for it. You know, we're gonna try and do this together, and we're gonna see, what happens and what God does. And we just went for it, and Rick just really kind of just threw us into the deep end of the ocean. I was doing junior high girls, and we didn't really have very many junior high girls. And he just said, okay, when you're at the beach, all those girls that are around you and they're surfing and bodyboarding, just grab them and bring them to church and bring them to the youth group. And I'm like, okay. And that's what I started doing. And it was amazing because just tons and tons of girls started coming. And when I started as an intern for junior high, it was 85% boys. And so it was really hard to how do I get a girls ministry going? I don't know what to do. And, asking Rick and stuff. And, he had just like I said, excellent programming. And so he would, tell us, what's up with the programming and give us our little tiny assignments and stuff. And we'd be doing it and doing it and doing it. And it was just amazing because from the time I was 18 till the time I left when I was 21, when I started it was, 85% boys. And when I left, it was 80% girls. It was just this amazing thing that God was just doing where just this one group of girls would get saved, and then they would just bring everybody, and then they would get saved. And then we'd go to camp, and then every girl I'd ever worked with, whether I'd worked with them for 2 weeks or 9 months, they would all accept Christ. And it was just this amazing, beautiful, harvest is plentiful kind of situation. But here's me and Pooch, and we don't even know what to do with all these kids who are getting saved. And me and Pooch are just what do we do? And Rick's just trying to tell us the programming and keep it going while he's literally starting a brand new church. So he's doing all of this, and we're just basically winging it, just trying so hard to just, do what we could. And it was amazing. And I remember when I left, I went to go work at a really huge church on the mainland. And I just always thought that that's what ministry was going to be like. That it's just going to be this giant harvest, and you're just going to be, pumping 24/7, and, God's always going to be doing something amazing, and you're just going to be chasing after whatever God's doing, And then I get to the mainland, I'm starting all these other ministry and working with all these other people, and I realized way too late that I was in this amazing time of ministry that's just not, I personally in my life have never seen that again. It was a wave, and you can't duplicate it. You can't program it. It has to be something that God's doing and you're grabbing onto. And it was beautiful. And it wasn't until, like I said, after I left it and looked back that I realized that God doesn't always do that. That's not always how it is. A lot of years in ministry is dry. A lot of years in ministry is super hard and tough, and you can, barely help anyone. And then sometimes it's just this flood. And so I got to be an intern here when there was just this enormous flood of amazing young women. And it's just, oh my gosh, I was just having lunch with a whole bunch of them this summer, and I just love hearing their stories and just seeing what God has done, 20 years. And then the ministries that they started. And then some of their children are even older now, their children are in high school, and it's just what? It was a beautiful time, and I just didn't realize it until it was over.